This is Coaching from the Couch with Bear and Wombat. And we've gone digging and found the Badger again. Badger, how are you?
Boys, I'm fantastic after last week's NRL and NRLW. Couldn't be on a higher of a high.
Wombat, yourself?
Oh, another round.
It's not that bad.
Nah, it's not that bad.
Just same old for Melbourne.
Yeah, for Melbourne, it is.
Oh,
but,
yeah, we just keep on winning. You know how it is.
a bit of a sour from the Eels and the Titans over here.
We'll get to that later. We will kick off this episode with the NRLW Magic Round, boys. All 6 games up in Newcastle at McDonald Jones Stadium. And the first one is Badgers' victorious Titans coming up against the
Newcomers,
the Bulldogs. So, how do we see this one?
Look, I think both teams had really good games last week. Both teams put it on. Sort of similar positions in the ladder, as much as you can't really take that with a grain of salt for the first few rounds of the season. But I think this is going to be a really, really good game between these two sides.
Well, the interesting thing is, I think we touched on it in our review earlier on in the week. The Titans' spine. Lily Rose Colk retains the 9. Georgia Hale goes back to 13.
and Lefippo goes back to prop.
Yeah.
So, this could be interesting.
I like that.
I
do like that. Gave the raps to Lily Rose earlier in the week, so...
I think that's Lily Paxton comes from the bench to start in the wing from last week, I think.
I thought she started last week as well. Because No,
she did, yeah. I am wrong. Sorry,
I thought... You did, and you were right. That is a brother-sister combo, and both
at the
same
Titans.
club.
So that's an interesting one I found out.
Yeah. But anything jump out at you in this matchup, guys?
I mean, I think on my side, you've already touched on it. Look, Lily Rose at 9, she was exceptional last week. She's going to carry it through this week. And having Georgia running around at 13, in that middle of the field, controlling the team around, is going to be... It's a great decision by the Titans to play them where they've played. Obviously, we've got the quality. Jamie Chapman's there. Lauren Brown's there. Quality on both sides, but I think the Titans are going over with this one.
I'd have to back you up there, Badger, because just unfortunately the Dogs just haven't found their gear yet to start going and making a move. Because I know last week I'd say Roosters are premiership favourites at the moment to take this one out, but that was a bit of a hard ask to go up against the Roosters.
Well, look, the Dogs came out, shocked everyone round 1, gave a very spirited Bulldogs performance, took home the win. And now they're just learning what the week in, week out grind is like.
Yeah, like I said at the start, I still feel like it was a good performance from the Doggies girls last week. But obviously going up against the likes of the Roosters and NRLW team, you're not looking at any side to really put one on them.
Yeah, very tough ass. Nah, boys, I'm going to have to jump on the train with yous and tip the Titans for this one.
Let's go, 3 for 3. How good.
So you know what that means.
Nah, I'm not listening.
It's not at Seabus though, so it's all good.
Anyway, we'll move on. The second game of Magic Round is the West Tigers up against the Roosters, and oh dear.
What can you say? This is going to be a 30-second conversation about how the Roosters are going to absolutely put it on the Tigers this weekend.
Especially when you have the return of Taryn Aiken at 7 for the Roosters, which means Jocelyn Kelleher moves to 6. Corbin Baxter moves back to fullback, which means Brodie Parker moves back to the wing. That's the 1 to 7 that everyone would have expected to roll out round 1 if everyone was fit.
Oh, absolutely.
But I do like how Mia Wood has been put into the 14 after filling in on the wing.
Yeah.
To be able to hold on to her as well, to fill in that back line for whatever reason. Because effectively, if there's an injury in any of that back 7,
Mia
there's
Wood can cover
an
it.
Immediate reshuffle there.
Yeah. I thought young Macy Carlisle was good off the bench last week too. I mean, I know it's easy to be good when your team's on the front foot and absolutely rolling through the opposition, but you still have to be there and put the work in. And I think she picked up a try, maybe a dub
No, I think she
No,
got,
just
I think
one?
I think it's just one.
Yeah,
She got,
I think Olivia Koenig put her over for one. So
there was a lot of tries in that
yeah,
Dogs game though.
But look, on the Tigers, yet again, young Evie McGrath has missed out. Now, I'm not dissing the young six that played last week. They were under all sorts of pressure last week. They did well to come back to where they were. But I like this. I like Evie McGrath. I think there's something special in her. Maybe it's not the right combination with Lasana Lutu, because Lasana Lutu, she is a little bit more, well, a little less structured than a typical 7. But at the same time, you can't really drop her because her defense is all. If she hits you, you're going aground.
She is a defensive 7.
But in saying that, look, I can't. I would like to see Evie McGrath get another crack. That's basically where I'm at with that. Although the young hooker we highlighted earlier in the week, Salma Noor, gets the start at 9. Mm-hmm. Look, unfortunately, especially with all the injuries they suffered last week, I can't. My heart will be with the Tigers on this game, but I can't tip them. This is a slaughter waiting to happen.
Yeah, look, it's a pretty unfortunate game for Selma to start in, and I'm pretty much on with you there, Bear. I think you can't really tip against the Roosters. So yeah, I'm with the Roosters as well on that. I don't think the Tigers are pulling it out after last week's. Given last week's performance was a good game, good come out in the second half.
Oh yeah,
And they definitely had a fight, but it's not going to be enough against the Roosters team.
No, it's unfortunate, but yeah.
That 1-7 scares me for the Roosters.
Yeah.
That's
It's really unfair when you compare it to the 1-7 for the Tigers.
Why is it that we're painting the perfect picture for an upset here?
I hope it happens.
We are literally painting it for this to be the upset of the round between NRLW and NRL.
Good. I'm not upset if I lose a tip and the Tigers win, because I think they deserve it. But unfortunately, you look at those sides on paper.
I'm going with my head here. It's Roosters. It can't go any other way.
I think that's a smart decision, Wombat.
Only time I do think with my head.
And when you're digging over the try line, you use your head a lot there too.
Yeah, that's hard. Anyway, moving on. Broncos Sharks is game 3. Now this could be match of the round.
It's shaping up, isn't it?
So,
Well, out of the gate, how's this for a matchup? Julie Robinson and Tiana Penatani-Gray
in the
centres. This will be and Melly Hafanga and Anessa Biddle.
And she was huge last week. Anessa Biddle. If she didn't crack 200 last week, I'll be very shocked. She would. The first half dominance was off her back. But again, that 6 and 7, Gail Broughton, Ali Brigginshaw, that's 2 international halves. You've got the Kiwi 6 and the Australian 7 up against Georgia Hanaway and Shante Kiraratu, who, look, the girls haven't done anything wrong. Again, this looks a lot more even than the previous game. But somehow, I don't know, I'm leaning Broncos.
Yeah, look, I'm not far off you there as well. Like, looking at these matchups and looking at the players on the other side of the field, I'm definitely pushing towards Broncos, but I would not be surprised to see a very, very close game here, and I think it could go either way. And either team could pull out here, but I think I'm leaning towards the Broncos, same as you just said there, Bear.
Yeah, and I think with the evenness of those starting 13s, I think it comes down to Destiny Brill for the Broncos or Nakia Davis-Welsh for the Sharks.
So picking out his favourites already.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Which way are you leaning to your Wombat?
I'm on the Broncos here, but I'm looking at their forward pack rotation that they've made a few switches here.
Yeah.
So, Bree Spreadborough has reverted to the bench, with Keely Joseph moving from front row to lock.
I like that better.
And they've also got Annetta Claudia, and I don't want to butcher her last name, but she makes a return to starting front row. And Shalom, she's in the 17. Out of respect, I don't like butchering their names because I know some of them are. Yeah. Even the NRL get in trouble for butchering names. So I want to
stay out of that one.
yeah. So she's actually returning from a sternum injury. So she sat out last week in the Dragons game. So I mean, we've seen a couple of players return from a sternum. It's not something to get over.
It's not fun. Tino's the probably perfect example. Playing with it still, I think,
and especially playing Origin with him. But with that, it's mainly the forward pack that's had a bit of a reshuffle. But I think Spreadborough coming back on at the 13 middle forward with Keely Joseph maybe moving into the front row as a rotation, and then. Because we've seen Spreadborough, I told you from the very start, watch out for this one. Watch out for her.
Ones to watch.
Watching her play in the Capras prior to getting a call up in the Broncos squad, that she was lighting it up to the point that you could see her and you go, "Yep, she's playing NRLW 100%."
Fair enough.
And she's there and again.
She doesn't look out of place.
No. But I'm Broncos all the way on this one.
Too easy. Well. Nothing splitting us so far, so we'll move on to the next game. Cowboys up against the Warriors. Still no Kira Dib. So Rosie Kelly and Tillett retain the halves. This could be a good game too. It just depends what Warriors side show up.
This is exactly what I was thinking when I saw this game come up on the list here. Yes, the Warriors had a loss last week to the Titans. I think, like we discussed earlier in the week, that was just due to the speed of the game. But the Cowboys' win over the Raiders was not... It doesn't give me a lot of confidence in the Cowboys going over the Warriors this week.
It wasn't as emphatic as what I thought it was going to be.
No, like we've seen the Raiders girls, obviously... Like we said previously, they're still finding their feet. They're sort of moving around a lot of players, and I think the Cowboys should have put on a better performance against that team. I think the Warriors-Cowboys game will be a good one to keep an eye on. I think this is a 50-50 game.
I'm probably with you there. Look, I think if the Cowboys are smart, they take a few lessons from last week, from the Warriors game last week, and just absolutely up-tempo the living daylights out of this game. And they have the capability to do it. You've got Emma Manselman, our dummy half, who is absolutely electric, as we know. You got the speed of Jakaya Whitfield and Crystal Blackwell out the back. And Abigail Roach is a former Warrior. And also Jasmine Peters. There's quite powerful centres that the Cowboys have. So, and the Cowboys forward pack is not a big body forward pack. It's almost a
mobile forward pack.
It's very like Mackenzie Wheel will work all day. Same with Talisha Harden. Bree Chest is another young one that we're keeping an eye on. Basically, the only real size in that Cowboys pack is S.A. Banu. And I tell you what, if your game plan is to run at her to tire her out, don't be doing that.
Don't even try.
You know what will happen? The person running at her will end off the field with an injury because S.A. Banu will hit you like a semi-truck.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is insane.
Hitting you front on definitely is a scary part.
So after all that, I am actually tipping the Cowboys on this one.
So working out the wires just to tip the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Sounds like a typical Eels supporter.
Look, I'm going to be the point of difference here. I'm actually going to take the Warriors in this game.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Like you said, with the Cowboys learning from the previous experience of the Warriors, losing that tempo away, I think the Warriors are also going to learn from that experience, and they're going to learn how to deal with that a bit better. Like I said, this game could be 50-50. It's a big split for me, but I'm taking the Warriors here because I want these Warriors girls to play up. I want to see them do well.
Yeah, nice. Wombat?
I'm comparing team lists from last week to now, and I'm going Wars.
Whee!
I'm looking at this change up and recognizing some of these names. I think the Cowboys need to watch out because I think this Warriors side might come out and just shock them
Fair enough.
like the Knights did against the Cowboys earlier in the year.
He's back on the train, Bear.
Yeah,
He's back on the Wars train.
Well, I was on that last week and that disappointed me.
Oh, okay. Anyway, moving on. It's the home team for Magic Round, Newcastle Knights up against the so far winless Canberra Raiders. Do we need to deep dive into this one, boys?
Look, Bear, I'm going to get it out of the way nice and early. Not much from me. Look, the Knights are the home team. It's Magic Round at Newcastle. The winless Raiders who are still trying to find their place in the league and their feet and structure of their team. The Knights are going over the Raiders here. That's it from me. I'm not going to deep dive too much into it. I've got the Knights here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm with you. Look, again, this is another one similar to the Wars. Would love to see the Raiders girls pull one out of the hat and really turn up and just sort of blitz one. Unfortunately, with Newcastle at home and hosting Magic Round and the occasion, I can't see it happening.
Tipping's a hard one, right? Because it's like you always want to see the teams do well, and it's disappointing when they don't. But it's sort of that thing you got to think about.
Yeah, look, given it is Newcastle v Canberra, Canberra haven't won a game. Newcastle hosting Magic Round. I'm going to go out on a limb here, boys, and I'm going to say that WA's own Shanice Parker will get a double in this game.
Shanice Parker getting a double.
Yeah.
So you couldn't pick the centre, so you're using my tactic from last week.
Yeah.
So I should pick the other centre to get a double?
Go for it.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, which way are you leaning here, Wombat?
I won't lie. I'm in the sort of same boat as you guys. It really feels like the Raiders are poised for an upset.
Yeah.
Like, it really feels that way, and there's not much changes to that Raiders side except for the fact that they're 6, and Zahara Tamara is back as well.
Yeah.
So she's been named. There is potential issues around her injury, about pulling out again. Just, if we scroll down just a little bit, looking at the bench compared to last week, it's almost a carbon copy. It's sort of how many times can you keep beating the same drum, expecting a different outcome, without making a few changes.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Look, I reckon the Raiders we can give them a little bit of grace for a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, which way you leaning, Wombat?
I'm taking the smart pick. It's at home. It's Magic Round for the Knights. I've got to go the Knights.
Fair enough, Knights it is. And then we move on to the second last game of the round. Actually, no, sorry, I lie. I can't count. I'm a prop. The last game of the round. So the Parramatta Eels up against the St George Dragons. St George Illawarra Dragons, sorry.
Tomato. Same thing, really.
Don't say that, Danny Wollongong.
That's why we're over here.
Yeah, but as it is, the Parramatta Club will close out the NRLW round and will open the NRL round, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But for this one, this is tough because I've been loyal to both clubs so far this year, and now I have to decide.
You've got about a 50-50 strike rate with both teams at the moment.
And one of them is my club. The other one, I understand the nursery that is going on, and I know there's something promising coming out of the Dragons soon. So
yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how you've got the Dragons who lost to the Broncos last week. It was a pretty convincing win, I'll say that. Now, Eels last week, and Bear, you might be able to help me here. They win or lose.
Oh, they got pumped.
So we've got two. What would we say? And we've said it a few times. Beware the team coming off a flogging. Unfortunately, both teams are coming off a flogging.
So what are we picking? A 22-all draw?
Oh, that'd be the way to go, because then we could split the points.
Yeah.
So if I tip the Eels, does that mean you're tipping the Dragons?
No, I'm staying loyal this week. There is a big N in for Parramatta as well. Again, another WA product. Kennedy Sheridan makes her way back into the squad after an injury suffered in Origin. So
And
that's...
Dragons have a big out. Tegan Berry.
Yes, suspended after that. Well, I suppose... how do you classify that? It's like a knee slide. Like,
Yeah.
What's it called?
I think it's probably deemed as a dishonourable conduct.
Yeah,
possibly.
I don't know what it is, but anyway, Tegan Berry suspended for a couple of weeks, I think. So, look, the only reason I'm going to stay loyal to the girls is I can see where they went wrong, and it is a very easy fix. The Parramatta girls lost the game last week in their fifth tackle options and their transition from attack to defence. Now, they're two of the easiest things to fix up.
Catch and pass.
Their catch and pass was on point because it was the play 1 and play 2 of the opposition last week that really absolutely killed them because they just didn't transition into their defensive line quick enough. Once they did, the rest of the set only made 20 metres. And then in good ball territory, they looked dangerous with the footy. They just didn't get the repeat set or didn't build any pressure. So I'm happy to stick with my girls and take Para here. Again, I'm loving the hooker rotation for Parramatta. Ruben Cherrington and Tanika Todd Hunter. I think that's only going to get stronger. But yeah, boys, which way are you leaning?
We've already touched on the teams coming off the flogging. I think this is a flip of a coin realistically, but I think the Dragons losing Tegan Berry is going to hurt them more than they realise.
Zali Hopkins moves from 9 to 6.
I don't like that.
Which
She
means,
does really well out of 9.
Yeah, so Nita Maynard-Perrin obviously started last week, retains the starting jersey this week. Look,
I'm going to Eels, realistically. I think they're going to be the team that goes the team beware of the flogging.
Well, look, boys, I'm going to have to be the point of difference here. I've got the Dragons in this one, actually. Yeah, you've had a few outs, obviously that big out. But the Dragons are going to have to do something here, and Para's the team to do it against. So I've got the Dragons.
well, on that note, screw you, Badger. We're moving on to the NRL.
Oh, yay! NRL, yay!
You're both going to gang up on me here for
3,
game
2,
1.
1, fight.
Parramatta opened the round up against the Melbourne Storm, so a replay of round 1. I'm hoping the scoreline is not a replay. Yeah, that's about all I got.
That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got. Yeah. I'll let Wombat take this one. It's all
The
Melbourne.
bear is he's a bit scared.
Oh, especially when you have the likes of Ryan Pappenhausen and Cameron Munster coming back into the spine. Yes, you lose Jerome Hughes, but one of your favourites, Badger, Tyron Wishart.
Yeah, you lose Jerome Hughes, but you get the most diverse, play any position 14 in the regular competition. Spoken about it recently, obviously. Connor Watson, yes, probably the best 14 in the competition. But I think Tyrone Wishart in the regular season is the best 14 in the league.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And then you also have young Jonah Peasant on the bench in the 14. So when he comes on, Wishy will probably go to a different position.
Which I love.
I can already see it now. Peasant to start at 7, Wishy to 14.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if you're going to give the kid confidence, just put him in the jersey for the whole game, right?
Well, they've done it a few times before.
Yeah. And it's probably about time in Jonah's development at Melbourne that
He's been a little bit behind, unfortunately, with back-to-back knee injuries. He's very much behind, but from everything you see, he goes after the game. He's eager to chase after it, and I think with that injury to Jerome Hughes, I think this is the time for Bezzett to, if he has an opportunity, go for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's also 2 other changes. If we look at the extended bench of
Oh, look out.
the Storm.
Wombat's doing team list changes.
I can see it immediately. Pezzett goes to start 7, Wishart to bench. We've seen that many times happen before. He named in the starting bench, but then I can also see Bronson Garlick dropping out and Joe Chan dropping out for 2 in particular. Alec McDonald, who's coming back from a rib injury, which by all reports he's almost
Sweet.
there.
Yeah.
The other one, Josiah Pahulu.
You reckon a club debut?
I think a club debut will be on the cards for him.
Ooh, well.
Because I think the way it is Vailepu, he's cracked the team list this year, but definitely by far Lasati has been out and out.
Of the two, yeah.
Yeah, has been the workhorse this year.
Yeah.
And with the likes of Nelson being suspended, Trent being rested as well, because he's played all 3 Origins and then backed up every single game.
Oh,
I think
it's a huge workload,
he needs a rest.
I mean, I'm not too impressed because it screws me fantasy side this week, but that's,
But realistically, looking at this, other than if Ryan Pappenhausen can make it through and play this game, I really hope he does. But I'm sticking with my boys here. I don't see much changes happening.
I'm actually I'm just going to disagree with you on something you said earlier about Tyron starting at 14 and Jonah going to 7. I like that Tyron starts at 7 and that he takes the pressure off Jonah when Jonah comes into the game.
Yeah.
I think that's a good move by the Storm. I think Tyron's going to draw a lot of attention, especially running with Munster. So, yeah, I think the plan is Tyron goes out, he takes the pressure off Money, he takes the pressure off Jonah, gets the Eels to start looking at him. See you later, Kamakamika, go have a rest, mate. Tyron into 13, Peasant into 7. Have fun, boys.
Yeah, and then I think if you do that, I think that Tyron moves into that ball-playing lock role.
And that's exactly how we've seen him do it before.
Yeah.
He is a ball-playing lock. He can play there. He's fantastic there. I'm a bit biased because I love how he plays. I love watching him play the game.
Yeah.
But I think starting him at 7 is a fantastic decision to take the pressure off the young half and off Cameron, because we know when the pressure's off Cameron, we know what that man can do.
Yeah.
He will tear teams apart. And then moving him into 13, running him down the middle of the field to control the forwards and putting the young half in to control the backs with Cameron on the other side, I think that's a very smart decision on my opinion.
Just think about that for a minute. Ryan Pappenhausen, Cameron Munster, Wishart, Pezzett on the field all at the same time, all playing.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
The only way that gets worse is you put Hughes out there as well.
Hughes in there as well, yeah. It's absolutely disgusting.
And that's why I think Tyron staying out of that 14 role is a fantastic decision.
But you boys are obviously both going Storm.
Yeah, look, I'm
going to stay loyal. And
I'm staying with my head there, Bear.
Only because Mitch is still there. If Mitch wasn't there, it'd be a Storm tip all day. The only thing I want to see from a Parramatta point of view is I want to see more out of Talon De Silva.
Do you think maybe he's just trying to lay low a little bit?
I'm not sure if he's laying low or if his development actually isn't as far as what people thought.
Possibly.
But under Rylesy, we've already seen the impact he's had on young players at the club, so I'm sure that'll grow.
Well,
but boys, we've got to move on.
Before we move on,
yep,
Jackie Williams in the second row
again.
Let's
second
go!
week in a row.
All right, we can move on now.
Can we also say that this is Master versus Apprentice in the rematch?
Yeah, Rylesy versus Bellamy. I mean, there's storylines galore in this one, but we've got to move on because that's only game 1, boys.
Oh.
Game 2, the Warriors up against the Dolphins, still in New Zealand, so no travel this week. So a lot of family time for the Waz boys, you'd assume, especially after that really tough loss against the bottom of the ladder Titans last week.
Not bottom anymore.
No, not anymore. But
Close.
close.
I think there's 2 points different in for and against, but we won't talk about that just yet.
Boys,
but haven't the Dolphins been putting it on?
They have been, but you know what shocked me with this team list? Cody Nicarima's back already.
Yeah.
And he's flying to New Zealand. Like, that hamstring must be completely fine. Because, one, you're not going to fly if it's questionable. 2, you're not going to name him at 6 if it's questionable. What? Man.
Cody Wolverine.
They've got some magic physios up at Redcliffe. So that means Avarillo goes back to the wing. Other than that, there's not much change from what we've come to be used to over the last probably month. Felice Kafusi's back as well, actually, boys. So he starts at prop. Mark Nichols is back as well. So they get the old boys are back.
It seems like it. Definitely does.
And
Freddie
then-
Lussick makes his I think his 2025 appearance. So first appearance, Freddie Lussick on the bench.
Oh, for the Warriors, yeah. Tane Tuapiki at 14. Tamare Martin moves to 6. Look, Kurt still stuck out in the centres, and unfortunately that's going to be either up against Max Fine or Herbie Farnworth. And I'm sorry, Kurt, I love you.
Kurt's up against Max Fine.
Yeah.
Adam Pompey has got a mission against Herbie Farnworth.
Yeah. But as we've seen this year, Herbie doesn't do his damage on his edge. He does it in the middle of the field.
He picks his times right.
Oh, he's world class, Herbie. Like,
But-
honestly.
After having an absolute standout in the knock-on effect, Samuel Healy gets a call up into the starting for Wade Egan.
It helps that Wade's no good. But yeah, which way we leaning here, boys?
Well, I'm going with the informed team. I also want to see the Warriors lose again because the Titans beat them. So I'm going with the Dolphins.
But here's the question: is the Wombat going to stay on the Waz train?
Choo choo.
Nah, sorry, I gotta check off here. The team in form is this late in the season. You got to go on form, and unfortunately the Warriors are hot and cold.
Yeah, I'm fins up as well. Although hearing you two boys tip him, I'm
You're
sort,
worried.
sort,
You're
sort of
worried
leaning
now.
back towards the Waz here. But the only reason I cannot take the Waz is there's no James Fisher-Harris. They've lost the big leader in the middle. I'm taking nothing away from Jackson Ford and young Dimitri. Doing great jobs, but with no Barnett and no Fish. I know the Finns pack isn't huge, but as we said, Herbie goes through the middle, Avarillo goes through the middle, Marshall King, if he goes, and then you have a bloke by the name of Hamaso Tabuai Fido. Stop the fight.
Yeah, I mean, with those two out as well, you're dropping experience, and that's the main thing, right? You do get that impact from those players, but experience is huge.
Absolutely. So we're all Finns up.
Yep, at the moment.
Alrighty. Moving on, Broncos v Rabbitohs, and this is at Suncorp. Do we need to dive into this, boys, or is it a fait accompli?
Well, as we've all learnt as of us recording tonight, Jack Whiten,
Yeah, Muff
Jack Walton.
on the sidelines.
4 weeks. So where does that leave people? Because you've got Peter Mamazoulis at 18th man. Ryan Gray gets a starting at hooker after that
So he
performance.
should.
Now, you've got LeBlanc and Ashton Ward, who both have filled in at 9. So effectively, and Ashton Ward filled in at 9 and at 7 as well. You've got 3 hookers on your bench.
Yeah. Ward,
And I know you don't...
LeBlanc and Havili.
Yeah. So I'm thinking if Havili plays, he's not playing a 14 role.
No, you have to play a middle forward role.
And that's where I think as we touched on in the review, is Peter Mamazoulis will start at 14. I think he'll come in. And I think the Ryan Gray rotation will start to take place.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think that means that young Ashton Ward misses out. Unless they throw him in at 6.
Well, from what we've seen by Lewis Dodd, he's in, out, and he just...
Mate, so just quickly on that, boys. I thought Lewis Dodd had a solid game last week. I didn't think he did anything wrong. I didn't think... Yeah, there was a few kicks that probably lacked a couple of metres in depth or something like that. But that's his first genuine hit out at halfback in the NRL. And I'm pretty sure he pulled off a try-saving tackle as well.
Yeah, he did.
So, overall, I thought he was about a 7 out of 10. And if you're a 7 out of 10 at your first crack at halfback, I think there's no reason to be knocking the bloke down to reserve grade for 2 years.
So would you be bringing Dodd in for Whiten then?
No.
So you talked up Dodd, and then you say no.
Well, it's a different position, right?
I'm
And that's
not-
just where I'm curious. Because
Yeah,
you
look-
wouldn't play him at 6, and there's, you can't shuffle Humphreys to 6.
No, Jamie has to be the 7.
So who do you bring Dodd back in for then? If you think, he's played a good enough game, where does he fit into this team?
Well, realistically, Jamie Humphries is first pick halfback. Mm-hmm. So if he's fit, you play him, which unfortunately means Lewis goes back to Cup. But that's the same with Schneider and Cleary. If Cleary's fit, you play him. Schneider goes back to Cup to control that side. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, unfortunately, the Bunnies Cup side's not doing much better than the NRL side. So that's probably not a great comparison. But at this end of the season, why not throw the young kid in at 6 and see what he can do? This is honestly, because if you throw Lewis Dodd in there up against the Broncos and the Bunnies get smashed, which they probably will be, all of a sudden it's a Lewis Dodd bashing in the media. Whereas if you throw the kid in and it's just these young kids, I guarantee you, whether they get beaten by 20 or 40, the media will be going, "Oh, how good is the future of South Sydney?" The coverage changes. So, while ever Humphries is a 7, I've got no issue with Dodd not being in the side.
I think one other change I can see happening is Jai Gray to 6 and Johnson go to fullback with Tyrone Munro coming in at wing.
No, I think you lose too much there.
I'm just saying, it's Wayne Bennett, so he could do anything.
Wayne will do whatever he wants. But
who knows? He might pull that.
Well, we said we weren't going to dive into it, and we did.
We have, so who are we tipping, boys?
Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos. Yeah.
Don't hesitate on this one.
I can't.
No, just because we've tipped them doesn't mean you can't tip them.
Yeah. Moving on, Titans v Panthers on the Gold Coast. So,
Panthers.
Back to back, baby!
Well, we know where the those two boys are leaning. Do we want to dive into this one, or are we just going to want tips?
Look, I'm tipping with my heart. I'm staying with the Titans. We've got a pretty solid team. The boys have copped the spray, like we said in the previous episode. There's going to be a click. I don't know if we can get over the Panthers, but I would really hope that we can. Love the team that we've got going. I've said it all year, why aren't we a top 8 side? And I think we've hit that point now where we realise that we can be a top 8 side. Jacob, Alec Winnecke.
Back row.
Yep.
That's a huge back rower.
That's a big boy. So I think he's going to tear up a little bit. Cleese Hassan the 13. I love Cleese in the 13.
Yes.
He is the most improved player of 2025.
Easily.
Tommy Weaver in 14. We know what Tommy can do. He can play wherever you want him to play. We've started Jamin over Regan Campbell-Gillard, which is interesting.
After
I
last
think
week,
that's earned.
that is
Holy
earned.
hell, his performance last week was awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. You know, you're showing the players that you put in the effort, you get the reward. And, you know, I think even you as a Para supporter can agree that Regan hasn't had his best season this year.
No, I'm a little bit disappointed with Reg, and because I've got no issue with the player leaving a club and then going gangbusters, because have a look at Gutho, perfect example. All of a sudden, that fresh bit of energy, new faces, but it just sort of hasn't quite happened for Reg.
And then Patson coming in at 17.
Hey, brother.
Brother, sister.
So, yeah, look, I think if we can put something together like we did last week with a 90% completion rate, a good, fast-paced game, I think we have the capability to beat the Panthers. It's just whether we come out 2 weeks in a row.
So, yeah, that's a big thing. Can you back it up? I slightly disagree with your thinking of that the Titans need to play quick, fast, high completions. High completions, obviously, yes, you cannot afford to give Penrith cheap ball. But I think if you Titans play fast, Penrith are fit, they can match it and they'll come over the top.
Or they'll just weather you down.
Yeah, unfortunately, no matter which way you slice and dice this, as much as I'd love to see the Titans back it up, I can't. Not when all 5 Origin boys are back for Penrith after being rested. So Edwards, Toto, Cleary, Liam Martin, Isaiah, they're all back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with the Black Cats, unfortunately.
Look, I say it to everybody that I talk to. The Titans, this may be a hot take, boys. The Titans are capable of beating any team in the competition.
100% with that roster.
It's just we need to have the day. And we don't have the day very often at all. But there's nothing to say we can't bring it home for the end of the season.
Positivity. Love it. Wombat.
I'm going Panthers on this one.
Right. Here you go. And then we go down to Wollongong, I believe,
Yep.
for Dragons v Raiders at Wynn Stadium. I'm pretty sure Wynn Stadium is the Wollongong ground. Because Jubilee's Cogra. Yes, there we go. I mean, realistically, if we're tipping on form here, boys, it's Green Machine all day, is it not?
Bear it's the Raiders.
Simi Sasongi drops back to the bench with
Seth Chris coming back. Yeah.
The Raiders are the team of the competition right now. They've had one bye.
Yeah, I think it's only one bye. Yeah. And they've got 2 leading up to finals.
And they're leading the competition.
Oh, by 2 points, 4 points?
They are the team of the competition. There is no way that I would ever not tip the Raiders in this game.
Well, there's no Jaden Sewer for the Dragons, and as Wombat mentioned, the Raiders gain a player, whereas the Dragons lose one.
Yeah.
Noah Martin, the poor bastard, scores a try and then gets dropped.
I think that's purely based on...
That's not a dropping. That's just, mate, we're back to full strength. You need to go back down to cup.
Yeah.
Oh, looking at this, it's just... what does Lockie Ilias have to do in that knock-on effect side in order to crack the top grade? Because if the Dragons keep losing, but the New South Wales side keeps winning...
You know what's hurting him? Is that the Dragons aren't getting flogged. They're losing by 2, 4, 6 points. I think if the Dragons were coming off back-to-back spankings... the change would be so easy and immediate, it's not funny. But while ever you're losing by 2, 4, 6, yes, that's probably a halves issue, but at the same time, there's probably other little areas that if they were fixed, it probably wouldn't be the issue.
Yeah.
Whereas if you get spanked, well, then you turn around and you go, well, hey, I have every excuse to make changes here.
Do you think maybe this is the game where the Raiders turn it on?
They're either going to turn it on or... they don't turn up.
Well, this has happened a few times at Wollongong, so this may be the first game we see the Raiders fall off.
I mean, it's a possibility, but again, that 1 to 13, and then you throw the bench in as well. I mean, yeah, I'm going on form. I can't not
go the Vikings and put a bet on.
All right, okay. So you want something here? If you want something here, I will give you a. How about same game multi?
Oh, here we go.
Owen Paddy to score anytime, and Xavier Savage to get a double.
I'm going to counter you to that. Jed Stewart double. Tom Starling.
Ooh. So winger and
You've
hooker
just taken
again.
the wingers and the hookers, boys.
I know,
I'm taking Savage because his opposite number is Tyrell Sloan.
I'm taking it on Brain and saying Raiders to win the first half 1 to 12 and Raiders to win the whole game 13 plus.
Fair enough. I think we're all on the green machine there, are we not? All right, we shall move on.
I'm just taking your word from last week.
Yeah, I know.
You
I know.
completely
I picked the opposite.
You completely mirrored my theme.
Anyway, it is Manly v the Roosters at 4 points. I don't think the home ground advantage is going to be enough for Manly this week. So obviously, I'm tipping the Roosters.
Look, Manly didn't put it together last week, right? But they have been playing well. They put one over the Storm.
Did they, though?
No.
Oh, of course you would say that. Look, I'm actually going against you here.
Sweet.
I'm taking Manly for this
Nice.
game. Nothing to do with home ground advantage or anything like that. I think They haven't been playing too badly. They haven't been in form, but they haven't been out of form. Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. I want to see what happens here.
Yeah, that's a fair one you've pointed out there, Wombat. Tommy Talau is on the bench in jersey 15. Now, I don't believe their outside backs copped any major injury concerns last week, although Jason Saab was nearly the best player for the Bulldogs. I think... I mean, harsh, but I think if you racked up the try assists for the game, I think Jason Saab had the most try assists for the Dogs.
He positioned himself well on the field.
Yeah.
For the Dogs.
For the opposition.
He did set up Sam Hughes' first try.
Yeah, and a couple others after that. And then, so maybe it's potentially Tommy Talau's there in case the hook comes out for Sabi or one of the others. But that's a strange way to carry it.
Yeah.
Either that or they're going to play a little experiment game with Tommy Talau in the back row.
I guess
he's
so.
a big enough body.
But I see where they're coming from dropping a forward, because we know Ethan can play long minutes.
Yeah.
Sipley can play long minutes. So this is sort of a team that doesn't need 3 forwards, or 3 middle forwards, I should say, on the bench. Give them some freedom with Tommy. Put him where they want him.
And to back you up on the forwards as well, there, if Jakey needs a break, Tavanga goes to 13, Simpkin goes to 9. There's your rotation and 3 middles.
Yeah, there's your spare forward.
Oh, yeah, I've got no issue with it. It's just a strange name to see.
It's a nice
on the
little
bench.
experiment, isn't it?
Well,
I
is there anyone in the extended reserves that could be? Oh no, there is no one.
Yeah, unless they
You've
promote Caleb Navale for that extra middle forward, but
You've got a somewhat edge. I would say edge forward, then a winger center, hooker.
yeah,
That's
no
not
one's
a
coming in. Although, boys, this Roosters side, Hugo Savala's back to partner Sam Walker.
Billy Smith is
Billy
back.
Smith is back. Let's touch wood. You can get through 80 minutes because you poor bloke. The forward pack is absolutely disgusting. Nafua White, Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins, Angus Crichton, Siwa Wong, Egan Butcher. And then the bench goes the young Benaiah Alelu. He's been going pretty well at hooker for the Roosters. And Blake Steep, Fiketti and Lenu. Stop the fight.
And then if you keep going down the list, you've got King, Lasalu, Rodwell, Docker Clay, and Victor Radley.
Well, I'm going Roosters.
I'm not confident, boys. I'm putting it against you here.
All right, beautiful. You're going Manly. Which way's the Wombat going to go?
I'm going Roosters.
Roosters as well. Alrighty. Sunday afternoon footy at CommBank Stadium. Hopefully there's no rain and this will be a cracker. Although maybe the Tigers want it to rain because the Dogs can't play in the wet. So it is the West Tigers up against the Bulldogs. And boys, Jareem Buller is back.
So that pushes Taruva out to the wing. Who got dropped for Taruva? Is that... I can't see.
2 seconds.
Oh, the debutant. So
Isaac Tuitupo, who is formerly Isaac Thompson from Souths. He had a name change over the off-season.
Oh, fair enough.
I think more of a nod. I think that is actually his true name. I think Thompson was brought in to make it easier for the callers at the time.
Makes more sense.
Now he's going back to his cultural name. So absolutely no issues there.
Yeah, good on the bloke.
Yeah. Buller's back. Other than that, there's no changes. Adam Dewey stays at 13, which will only get better.
They lose Jack Bird by the looks of it.
I don't think that's a loss.
That's fair. Well, I mean, they got Tony Sucker, Fanui, Pole, Royce Hunt, Sione Fanu off the bench. That is probably their best bench I've seen them have all year.
That means Appy will play the whole 80 because there's no dummy half replacement there. That is all forwards. And to go up against the Dogs, who have no Connor Tracy this week due to a rib injury.
Sione Fanu could play 9. I could see that if in dire circumstances.
Yeah, if you have to.
Big
I mean,
nine.
the Fanu boys are there's just talent dripping out of them. So they'd be able to do it. So no Connor Tracy, which means Jacob Kiraz moves back to fullback. And Jethro's back.
Yeah.
Other than that, there is no changes.
Not that I can see, no.
Nah, it's a pretty stock standard Bulldogs side there. Which way we leaning here, boys?
I'm sticking with my boys, the doggies, out of the slump, on the up, the skate ramp until they start being affected by gravity.
Fair enough.
Coming back down.
I'm on the Dogs here. Unfortunately, I just don't see that Tiger side clicking yet.
Fair enough.
And especially with Buller coming back from an injury, I don't think we're going to see knocking the lights out performance. Because I think there's a hamstring injury he's coming back from.
I'm not entirely sure. I think it is a soft tissue injury, yeah.
Hamstring.
5 games, hamstring.
So if that's the case, unfortunately, I don't see him wanting to stride out fully and go after.
It's a fair point.
Who knows? He might. And then re-injure himself.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times.
Because that's happened a few times. But
boys, there's a little sneaky matchup here that actually has nothing to do with these two clubs, but probably the club that these two players came from originally, Penrith. So you got Talon May up against Stephen Crichton. Now, there's storylines galore around that, which we won't dive into, but I think with the way Talon May has returned to the NRL and Critter's slight dip in form of late, that turns into a bit of a battle.
Seems like it will be. It really does.
Well, Sam Hughes off a try double. I'm expecting an extremely quiet game from him this week.
Well,
I don't think you'll see it, Bear, as much as you want it. Sammy Hughes is going to put up.
I love Sammy Hughes. He's one of the forwards that I think if the Dogs, for some reason, don't keep him, he will get picked up by another club very quickly.
Quick smart, yeah.
just to touch on the Stephen...
Jason Rolls, are you listening?
Just to touch on the Stephen Crichton and May situation... Another one that we touched on a few weeks ago was when the Dogs played Penrith.
And Casey McLean.
The young dog, got over the old dog.
Yep.
Well, Critter's not really that old
Well,
yet.
he's not old, but he's the previous Penrith centre before Casey, so...
So it could be a case of, I was here first.
Yeah, it could be. But again, Critter didn't really get an opportunity until all Talon May's off-field stuff, so maybe this is, hey, you've had my career, give it back.
It could be.
Well, I made my pick. I'm going with the doggies there, Bear.
You're with the Dogs.
I am.
Wombat with the Dogs as well.
Yep.
All right, this is my upset. I'm with the Tigers.
Oh.
This is my upset. I
Should we send you for a HIA?
go for it because I tipped them last week too. No, I don't know. I have that fear. I've told you the last few weeks. There's something not right about the Dogs, and that's across the board. And even with their performance against Manly last week, I take that very, very lightly because Manly gave up. Manly played 30 minutes of football, and didn't want to tackle. So the attitude of the Tigers side is a lot different to that Manly side. There's something. I feel it. There's something. I have nothing to back it up, but there's something.
You're either going to be a genius or look like a total idiot.
I just look like an idiot again. It's fine. My tips are suffering. And the last game of the round, boys, is the Cronulla Sharks up against the North Queensland Cowboys at Shark Park Sunday afternoon. Oh dear. This could be anything. Which one of these two sides is going to show up? Because they're both Jekyll and Hyde sides.
Yeah, they absolutely are. It's a big 50-50 game here.
The Sharks do get Sifa Talakai and Britton Nickera back though, so that's huge.
It is, and yeah, like you said, it just depends who turns up. And on the Brett Nickera point and Talakai point, what are you pointing out here, Wombat?
Well, we just read the notes underneath the team sheet that says Jake Clifford is returning to the side at 7, starting at halfback, but
He's named at 6.
he's named at 5.
Well, that was my next point. Jake Clifford's coming back. Look, you're not dropping Tommy out of the 7 for Jake Clifford.
Absolutely not.
So I think the notes are a bit off there, and I think he's definitely stuck in that 6 jersey.
Yeah. Look, this will come down, in my opinion, this will come down to the middle of the field. So basically the forwards. If the Cowboys forwards can muscle up for 60 minutes, I think they go a long way to frustrating the Sharks into their own defeat.
Can I put a little bit put a bit of weight behind the Cowboys on this one? It's John Bateman's 300th, Tom Dearden's 100th, and number 14, Marley Buttigieg, it's his debut. So you got a debut, a 100, and a 300th.
That's a lot to play for. That can't be Johnny Bateman's 300th NRL game. That's just got to be 300th game.
Apparently, it's his 300th NRL game.
He's been around.
I don't think it's right, but it was saying it's his 300th game. So
I think it's just 300.
Wombat, produce the sources right now.
Yeah, it was on their on the Cowboys Instagram page.
I think it's just 300 game in general.
It must be 300, maybe,
combined.
or maybe even
Because Johnny Bateman hasn't been out here for that long.
No, I don't think so.
Raiders, he was only there for 3 years?
There you go, boys, on the Instagram page. Bateman's 300th.
But is it NRL 300?
I'm not sure because that's all it says.
Yeah.
So I'm going off what it says.
Still a milestone. Still a milestone
awesome.
either way. So yeah, look, he's still going to be playing as his 300th game. It is still something. Look, what did you say, Tommy Dearden's 100th?
Tom.
That's huge.
You look at the 100 dummy and runs he's doing this weekend for his 100th game.
Or he doesn't dummy at all.
And just runs and scores. Look, boys, one of my favourite players, Tommy Dearden. I love him. He's fantastic. I'm not going against him here. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Tipping the cows. I tell you what, young Jackson Purdue's in for a night from hell, marking up against Sipek Talakai.
Yeah, that's not someone I'd like standing on the opposite side of the field to me.
Whoever his back rower is going to need to give him a lot of help. I think it's actually Johnny Bateman, so I think he'll be okay.
It's John Bateman.
Yeah. So
as long as he's not standing there next to Nanai.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is to Cowboys need to keep Mulatalo away from Bateman, otherwise that's just going to erupt. Yeah. Wombat, which way are you leaning here?
Cowboys. I can't knock back they've got essentially 3 occasions to play for, and the Sharks realistically being very laxed against the Bunnies, an undergunned Bunnies too.
Yeah.
And they looked like they had nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas the Cowboys, they went after the Dragons, died off a little bit, but they were still in the fight.
Look, boys, this is going to hurt me. I'm going to take the Sharks, but with absolute zero confidence, purely because I had my upset in the previous game. That's my upset.
That is a fair point.
But there is no faith or trust in the Sharks from me, and I would love to see the Cowboys win this purely for all those reasons and more. But you boys will fly the Cowboys flag for me this week.
It's just got to be the New South Welshman taking the New South Wales team and the Queenslanders taking the Queensland
very
teams.
reluctantly, but yeah, unfortunately, it is going to fall that way, gents. But
like you said, and like I said before, it's who turns up, right? I don't think any of us have backing other than those.
This could turn out to be the worst game of the round. Because if neither side turns up, this is going to be horrendous.
Easily the worst game around.
But anyway, boys.
Just on the Bateman one, done some research. He's only played 80 games in the NRL. So it does include his Super League time.
And that's still a massive achievement. 300 games of rugby league in general, at no matter what level, whether it's grassroots club footy or top tier NRL, that's a huge achievement.
Absolutely.
But on that note, boys, we've got to wrap it up because otherwise we are going to get in so much trouble. But yeah. Catch us all next week. Well,
absolutely.
If we can find you, Badger, I'm not sure.
Look, I'm around.